Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about LINGHUN by Ai Jiang. LINGHUN is a suburban gothic horror novella. It is a powerful story about grief, about the weight of grief, about the desire for connection beyond death, especially when someone has been lost too soon. So all of the sort of awareness of content around that, child mortality, and grief around the loss of a child. Really very painful grief and lovely in the story as well. Of the violence and the hurt that grief can bring about, and the desire to escape grief and to live as you had before, or as you might wish to live. It was a very sorrowful novella, and one that I was deeply moved by. It's a book that, like many that we've been discussing in January, I'd been wanting to read when it was released last year in 2023. Didn't have the chance to, and so excited to be able to read it now in the new year. It is the story of going to a subdivision, a suburban community, where all of the houses are haunted and can be haunted by the specific ghost that you are grieving, and the desire of members in this community to process the death of loved ones, or to linger with the ghosts of their loved ones as they sort of work through the pain and the grief of that loss. And this feeling of being trapped in grief, but also comforted in grief. Just truly a powerful story, and one that I recommend for fans of the Gothic, for fans of horror, for people who enjoyed Comfort Me With Apples by Kat Valenti that we discussed 2 years ago, wow, or The Stepford Wives, if you're looking for those sorts of suburban Gothic feelings, or thinking about the experience of being othered in a community, thinking about the Chinese North American community. This is set in Canada, so not Chinese American, but Chinese Canadian, and just truly a profoundly powerful novella, and one that I highly recommend. Read it at night when everything seems to curl in around you. And so we've got a drink for LINGHUN. This is an interesting one to think about because it is heavy, and there's not a lot of joyful flavor in there, but I think we've got a drink that's going to fit the bill for that. And we're going to start with an ounce of heavy cream. This is the Lingerer, named for the groups of people who wait in the community for a house to become available. We're going to start with an ounce of our heavy cream. And I like to have the heavy cream go into the shaker first, because then the rest of my ingredients can wash out that jigger and make sure that all of that cream gets into our drink. And this is going to add, some nice weight to what is otherwise a sort of fruity and floral cocktail. We're going to get an ounce of gin. Now, this is our base spirit. I'm using the Floridora Hendrick's gin, nice floral gin. Again, use whatever gin is your favorite, a house gin, but something that's a little more floral is nice. We have this imagery in the book of, funereal flowers and gardens that have not been maintained, and thinking about this intersection of mortuary culture and floral culture, I think is useful and something that comes through in this sort of meditation on grief that the book is. And we're going to add a bit of fruit with an ounce of blackberry liqueur. Lovely. And that's also going to bring a bit of that darkness as well. Set that aside. And then our two little modifiers. We're going to want a bar spoon of rose water. Again, heavy florality here. And remember that a little goes a long way on the rose water. So you want to get just that bar spoon. You don't want to let a little extra spill over into the shaker. Yeah, you can smell that sort of permeate in the same way that this overpowering grief and pain really affects not only this family that the story is about, but also the entire community. And finally, we're going to get a few dashes of lavender bitters in there. And as always with bitters, it's easy to add more, hard to add less. But because we've got that potent rose water in there, I do recommend adding maybe a few more than you're used to, just for that real punch of the lavender. Lovely. Now we'll get our ice into our shaker. Shake it up, wake it up. Now ordinarily we would reverse dry shake this, introduce more air, get a little more froth and foam into our cocktails with dairy, but because this is so heavy and dolorous and funereal, we want that little extra bit of weight. So we're going to just leave our cocktail as is and strain from here. Lovely. Set our shaker aside, and there you have it. This is The Lingerer, inspired by LINGHUN by Ai Jiang. The book is available now. I've got a link to snag it in the description below. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments. We have got links to various forms of social media, including Twitter and Instagram, where there's always a written version of today's recipe. Hit that like button. It makes me so very happy when you do. Share this video with your friends. Definitely, definitely, definitely check out LINGHUN. It is wow. It's a wow of a novella for me. So, until next time, cheers.